she's so-and-so's daughter, she's probably spoiled, she's probably never had a hard day's work in her life. I was like, listen, I can do it. I'm the kind of person who's had the opportunity and the privilege to lead many different kinds of lives and to play many personalities. I felt like I found that girl that I lost again. So it was spiritually very moving for me to get back.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel. Today I'm here with Shruti Haasan.
Hi.
So you were born in Chennai and all your family's there as well, like all your...
No, actually, yes, I was born in Chennai. And all of my family is all over the place. My mom, my sister and I live in Bombay.
Yeah.
My dad lives in Chennai. But really, I don't live in any one place because I have a place in London now. Bombay is home.
Yeah.
I've been living there forever. Sorry, we're in someone's way. And yeah, so I'm just like all over India, basically. And London and LA now. Yeah.
I love that.
Packing in the miles.
What kind of music did your parents play in the house when you were growing up?
Oh my god, that's such a cool question. All kinds of stuff. So there wasn't much film music except for like old Indian classic film music, which was amazing because that like influenced me a lot. There was a lot of Bob Marley because my mom's obsessed with him. Bob Marley, Bob Dylan, the two Bobs of my childhood. My dad loves the Beatles and the Who. Yeah. So that was really good. And a lot of Jesus Christ Superstar. Yeah.
Oh my god.
A lot. I know it like by heart. I do. Yeah.
Wait, is that common to listen to like the Who, Beatles?
No, I don't think so.
Like, how did they even find the music themselves?
Well, they were from like the 60s and the 70s, you know, so they were like really cool. And they were well-traveled because they were traveling with with their movies. So they were influenced to good literature, good music. And also they're both really curious people, which is where I think I get that from as well. Yeah.
And I guess that's what inspired you to make your rock band at 16.
Yeah.
All the rock music. How young were you when you started writing music for that, like more of the rock focus?
Well, I originally I've been writing, I think, forever, but never officially. And my parents would encourage me to write every day as much as I could, especially my dad. And then I think when I was 16, I joined my first band in India. I wasn't even the lead vocalist, I was like the backup lady. And it was called Anarchy. We used to cover System of a Down.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Metallica covers and some really bad originals. And then I went to MI at LA to study. And it was interesting because I had my Indian classical background and training, and then I got to like write and learn from people that were more like me. So when I went back to India when I was about 21, 22, I started my first official band with me as the front woman, called the Extramentals. And that was amazing because the bass player is still my best friend, so that was fun.
Yeah. When you started your band, like the Anarchy, were your parents supportive of you, like doing so much? But you were performing, right? Was it in all these like bar venues or something?
Yeah, it was like at these pubs and also just like weird places, and they were okay with it. I think they've always I think it's very important as parents to let your kids know that they'll land on their feet instead of being like super paranoid about them, I think. And that's what they did, which helped. I had my wild days, but they're over now.
Did they also go to all the venues to like see you perform?
Well, not all of them. I think my dad, he's pretty well known, so he can't like come to all the venues because people wouldn't see me sing then. But I think he came for my first big show in India at the Hard Rock Cafe, which was great.
Oh wow.
And my mom's been like super supportive as well. But mostly it's not like they go to every show, but they're always there, especially my mom. She's like a super everyday fan of my music, which I love.
That. Yeah. How did you put your music out there initially? Like, how did people find your band music?
MySpace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then you must have had fans like outside of India who listen to you.
Well, yeah, because, the fans that I have today are really thanks to movies and after I kind of came out into the scene. But the kind of people that I spoke to and conversed with when I was in LA and putting out my music were just like regular kids on MySpace, because really only kids were on MySpace then. It wasn't like super cool, like where everybody had to be on it.
Yeah,
and I really miss MySpace. I just want to say that. I really do. I miss MySpace a lot. Yeah, so I've always been like a big propagator of social media because I think, you know, since the MySpace days, I just kind of understand how easy it is to connect with people. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and then was it your dad who bought you a guitar when you were?
No,
18?
a keyboard.
Oh, a keyboard.
Yeah.
And did you take?
I do not play the guitar. I suck at playing the guitar. Yeah.
Did you take like lessons and everything? Like.
Yeah, I took lessons for the first time in my life when I came to MI actually. Before that, I've always just kind of fooled around the keyboard. What he got me wasn't just the keyboard. He got me the whole setup, like with Pro Tools and a mixer and everything.
Whoa, so you're like a producer mode then.
Yeah. It was great. And I wanted to get heavily into programming and all of that because I had studied audio engineering as well. But I just didn't. Ultimately, I've kind of rooted myself back into just writing on the piano and then leaving it to the experts. But now I'm trying to find that balance, and I think most musicians will kind of understand that it has to be a little bit of giving up. Can we? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
we don't want to die. We're crossing the road. It's a little bit of giving up control, but also being very, very honest to your own voice. So it's always a battle. So I'm gonna get back into the programming. Yeah.
When did you go to study audio engineering? Was it with that school or separately?
No, separately in India when I was about 18. Yeah. I don't remember years. I just remember them in my years.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was about 18. Yeah, I finished 18, 19, and then I realized I wasn't the mega geek I thought I was, and I was like, I really want to express myself and write, and I applied to MI and I got in, and then I was here in LA.
Yeah. How did you think initially that you wanted to do audio engineering? Like, did you have any family around you outside of acting who were just doing musicians?
No.
So just all like within yourself that you had this love for passion for music?
I wanted to do audio engineering because I wanted to understand everything, like the whole history of how it's put together, from like tape splicing to like, you know, the Mackie mixer to like
so cool.
The basics of it, you know, down to not just depend on Logic and Pro Tools and all of that, to understand like how it was done analog, because I'm a huge fan of the analog sound. So it was amazing. It was just something that I wanted to know. I just wanted to know everything that goes on behind.
Yeah. And then why did you decide to study music, like compared to acting? Did you just...
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I didn't study acting now that I'm acting all the time. I'm like, maybe I should have trained. No, I mean, I did need it. I really did need it. But my training kind of became in front of a million people saying 0 on 10, you can do better. So that was like training on the ground.
Yeah.
But I trained in Indian classical music for 5.5 years. And I know that with music, especially with your voice, it's really important to do it every day and to have some incredible teachers, because I don't know, I mean, it's something that's not, it's subjective, and it's also something that you have and don't have control over. So I feel that if you can master it just a little bit, then the effects of it are amazing. So that's why I wanted to learn and develop on what I'd already learned in Indian classical. So yeah, and you're right, I don't know why I didn't train in acting, because I got back, my plan was to do one movie, like literally.
Did you plan to be like kind of like a pop star after, or what was the plan for studying music?
Well, I've been writing English music. I can sing and speak Indian languages, but I can't write or express myself poetically at all. No, I can like write you an essay about the weather or something.
Do you know why you think that is?
Because I've grown up predominantly in English school, listening to English music, having to express all of my own thoughts only in English. So, yeah, I guess it's just natural for people like me to feel that way. But having said that, I'm very connected to Tamil and Hindi because that's what I grew up speaking. And now Telugu, which is another Indian language. So I feel connected to all the languages, but I can't just express myself on my own with them. So all of my songs are in English. So when I went back, I'd studied like music business along with what I was doing. And I was so excited, but there wasn't a market really if you ever wanted to pay rent singing in English. And I mean, not up until recently did we even, figure out publishing and copyright and stuff. So can we just...
Yeah.
I just want to say she's really like a total jaywalker. She really is. I mean, I know
think
we
we
can
have right
cross,
away.
but she has like no consideration for cars. And you know,
barely-
everyone in the car is like, oh, look at these social media babies walking around.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
True though. I'm like, ah.
We're that generation. We have no concern for traffic. Yeah.
So what were you saying your plan was after you graduated?
Just to go back and make music, and I did, but there was just never enough money. Like, even now I feel that's a really big difference with what musicians get paid or an actor gets paid just to open a store.
Interesting.
Or launch something on Instagram. And that's like a personal battle that I really want to help improve in any way that I can. I got offered my first movie completely like by mistake, randomly. A friend of mine said, there's this movie, do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, sure. How much are they going to pay me? Because we need to buy a drum kit, we need some equipment, we need all of this stuff, and then, you know, we'll see. I did it. I was horrible in it, like so bad. And but I loved the experience. And I loved myself on screen, even though I was terrible. So I decided to push on and do it some more till I got really good at it, because I'm a bit competitive with myself. So yeah, that's how I ended up working for 10 years as an actor.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you said before that you were putting out music, so did you have a team, like a producer who made music with you, or how much of a solo project that you were doing?
Well, when I was in LA, I worked with a producer, but I didn't really put that music out.
Oh.
It was just really more to even show people, because there was a lot of preconceived notions that she's so-and-so's daughter, she's probably spoiled, she's probably never had a hard day's work in her life. I was like, listen, I can do it. That's basically what it was. It was like a visiting card for people to take me seriously. After that, I wrote, I still write most of my music, all of it actually. And that time I wrote with the band, and it was basically me and my best friend who was the bass player, who we wrote a lot of stuff together. So I always like to have that relationship with where, you know, I feel that the musician or the producer I'm writing with is connected to some sort of thread inside me, so that there isn't like a disconnect in the music.
So none of that saw the light of day, or?
Well, kind of did, but a lot of the stuff we did with the band was everywhere, but I never really put it out because I didn't see the point of making like $10 off of it, you know, like the monetizing stream was so weird back then. Now I'm putting stuff out. Yeah, which is good. It's about time. Yeah.
Why do you think that is in India, that you couldn't be like a pop singer?
Well, in English. Yeah, that's the difference. There's incredible commercially successful singers who sing in Hindi or Tamil, who I respect very much. And Playback for movies is the biggest business.
Yeah,
really.
You won so many awards in that. How did you get into Playback?
Well, I've been singing Playback since I was 6 years old, because, you know, my parents are in the movie business. My dad made me sing a lot as a kid. And I had my first big break when I was 6, which was amazing. And after that, I kept singing through the years, really. And I continued to sing Playback for myself and for other actors, because, you know, you lip sync in Indian movies. So I sing for myself, I sing for other actors sometimes, which has really been exciting, because it forces me to have a voice that I wouldn't think of for myself.
Oh,
because,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, because I have to sing as the character then. So it's great, but I wouldn't do just that. I wouldn't be happy doing just that. It's okay to do once in a while for me personally. Yeah.
How did you meet? Is it Dave Kushner or?
Well, I didn't meet him. We had like a long distance association, which is how most of the music is made now, which I'm not a fan of. But it was just for a movie, and it was a track he had written, and then I wrote the vocals and the lyrics over it. So it was like a very long distance thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you do also a lot of that for, like, you also composed some stuff, right?
Yes, I did. I composed for a movie for 2 languages, and that was my first film as a composer. I hope to compose again in the future, because something I've really, really enjoyed, because for me that's like the perfect meeting of my 2 worlds of cinema and music.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's such a, you know, it's a very important job, and it takes a lot of time, and I don't have the kind of time to sit and score an entire film right now, or even do the songs for it, like the OST or whatever. So when the time comes, I will. but not right now.
Yeah.
But I loved it.
What's your role in that? Like, how does it work for when you compose?
So basically, you're given the premise of the film. You know what the film's about. You talk to the director, and you have a sense of what they want to be the musical narrative of the film. Is it a heavily musical film? How do they choose to use the music and weave it into the narrative? Is it like a third character? Because sometimes in a film, the music is a third character, you know, or a fifth or sixth or whatever. So you discuss that, you give them ideas, they shoot most of them down, and then you kind of figure out which way you want to go with the director. And then you start to score. So you get the scenes from them, and based on the brief you've been given, you start to score the pieces. So I had some pieces already written down, which I thought would work, and then we would kind of incorporate them into it. And then we also did a separate OST, which was just based off of the theme of the movie, which was about independent thought, anti-corruption, citizens taking, well, not the law, but their own rights into their own hands. So it offered like a great canvas to have a lot of message-based stuff.
And did you have a team working with you, or how?
I did. I had amazing programmers working with me, and of course the musicians that we brought in to play, as well as the other singers on the track. So it was really on the tracks. So it was really good.
What would the dream be like for your music career?
Just to keep making music. I'm very basic when it comes to that.
Do you think you would put out like more English now that there's Spotify?
I think so. I think I would do more English. I want to do more Indian stuff as well. I'm doing a lot of stuff in India now. Back into collaborating with some really talented people, which I'm excited about. But it's just to keep making music. I think it's a blessing if you're a musician, and if you can keep doing it, that's a great life. And if you make money, it's even better.
Do you think you're gonna do less films or still focus on that?
I have already started doing less films. At one point I was doing like 6 films in a year.
I saw that on your page.
It was nuts. I loved it, but it was a phase, you know. I'm very passionate about my film career, but I've never been passionate about the race, you know, about getting first prize or being a part of what is expected. So in a sense, I've always kind of been on the fringes, you know. There's a lot of people who think, oh, that was a smart choice, and a lot of people who think that was really dumb, you know. But I've kind of marched to the beat of my own drum as far as films go. And I think when you reach a certain age, as a woman as well, you don't want to be playing certain roles anymore. And I'm pretty clear about that. I'm like, listen, I wouldn't want to see me doing that, so I'm not going to put anyone through that, you know? Because it's about how you project yourself with your own maturity and growth as a person.
So true. And for the music that you want to make, like, are there any artists right now that you're inspired by?
Well, it would be a dream to collaborate with Trent Reznor, because he's like my hero. Like, I absolutely adore him. Tori Amos is another favorite. I met her recently for 5 seconds in London and totally geeked out, which was great. Not for her, I'm sure. But but I'm really a fan of these two people. They've influenced my work so very much. So, I mean, it would be a dream come true. And anybody else, really. I'm very, I mean, I love collaborating with people who are outside of my genre, because like, I'm not heavily into listening to electronic music myself, for example, but I love collaborating with people like that, because it forces me to come out of my comfort zone, and it forces me out of my corner. So I really enjoy that.
Who else are you listening to right now?
Right now, I'm really excited that System of a Down are back on tour, so I keep following Serge Tankian on Instagram, and I'm super excited. I've always been a big Incubus fan as well, so... but who am I listening to right now? Actually, I've been re-listening to Nick Drake again. I've just fallen in love with him all over again. Who else have I been listening to recently? Not much, really. Just listening to the mixes of my own songs the most and making corrections on them.
But what do you mean for mixes?
So I've written my album.
And
we're in the stage of mixing it. And then I keep adding layers and removing layers and trying to make it not perfect, because there's no such thing, but so I'm just listening and re-listening to my stuff the most these days.
When is it coming out?
Next year.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Because we're already in November, so next year.
Yeah. Do you have what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, for me, this album was really about myself, and in the sense that I found that I'm the kind of person who's had the opportunity and the privilege to lead many different kinds of lives and to play many personalities. And I realized that I was starting to develop my own inner monologue. So one song really is about my inner demons and how it's important for all of us to acknowledge those demons. We can't just exercise all of them, because some of our demons make us who we are. And the other one is about sobriety, because that's a big thing in my life. And another one is about, losing a part of yourself and learning to fall in love with yourself again. So it's not very girly, Dear Diary, but it's along those lines.
Yeah. Is that surprising for the audience in India for you to open up so much about these challenges?
Maybe.
The topics? Yeah.
I think for the past year or two, I've made it like a conscious personal choice actually to open up and to share things that I felt maybe insecure, or maybe I felt like I had to project something else. I think we all do at some phase.
Yeah.
And to rather just to be like, this is who I am, the struggles are real, and therefore the success is more internal and it's much more celebratory than what you project outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What gave you the confidence to be so vulnerable? I don't know in India, but at least in Hong Kong, like, people really rarely talk about like what they're going through and everything, especially people in the limelight.
Yeah, I mean, some people do, and I really appreciate them for it. Some people kind of do, but it's not very genuine.
Yeah.
Again, it's like a PR thing, so you have to, if you're doing it, then you just have to go out there sort of emotionally naked and hope someone will offer you a blanket when it's freezing. But that's the risk you run, you know.
Yeah.
But I haven't been afraid of my feelings. Never been afraid of them. I've enjoyed my intensity as a human being. And even if people were like, God, she's so weird in school or whatever, I've just been very happy with my feelings because they drive me so very much as an artist. And I just felt that it was imperative at this point, if I'm going to say, here's my music and it's really a piece of me, then I have to be vulnerable and honest. Yeah.
How would you say your music has changed since the early songs you made?
They're less angsty and angry. They're a little more contained. But in essence, they're the same. I mean, the amazing thing I found out was that I felt like I'd left music behind, but music is like the ever-faithful lover. It goes nowhere.
I love that.
Yeah. And when I came back into the room, it was right there waiting for me. And I felt like I found that girl that I lost again. So it was spiritually very moving for me to get back to writing so honestly.
I love that. With that, how would you say you've grown as a person compared to when you were younger?
Oh God, sometimes I think I've really figured stuff out, and then sometimes like I really haven't. I think growing up means knowing you haven't figured everything out. I think that's what growing up really means. Knowing that you haven't figured everything out and it's okay, and that each day will have a new lesson and a new challenge. And I think that to me has been growing up, is to not try and be on top of things and not try to project and not try to go by other people's narratives and expectations, but yet be nice about the whole thing. Yeah.
What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far?
Really the stuff inside of me, because ultimately, and I think especially in this current scenario of how much emphasis is put on appearance and how many followers you have and what you're wearing and all of that stuff and how much you're earning, and really these are projected by other people, sure, but there's a part of you inside that fuels it, and it fuels it for yourself again and again. So you get into this kind of loop that you don't know anymore, are you yourself for yourself or for somebody else, and do these other people even really matter? So I think that's the tricky thing about the whole thing, and to like separate from that is important.
What does love mean to you?
Oh, love is like the driving force of a lot of things for me, and love not in like the greeting card sense. It's just like it's changed over the years what love means to me, and I've realized very much that I'm a person who strongly derives nutrition from a diet of love. Yeah, I love it. The people in my life, the work I do, loving myself most importantly. I've had to fall in love with myself again, which was the hardest thing to do, which was difficult to pull away all the layers that frankly I had put on, and to strip down to who I am and then accept it and kind of join the two versions of me back. So that's been love to me. Personally, I've been very blessed to have a great partner. So having love in my personal life, and then loving my job, loving my family, loving to travel, all of it is just come together really great.
Yeah.
So I feel blessed. Yeah.
How has your love for your parents developed over time?
I think I really feel as you get older, you become your parents' parents. And that's been an amazing journey for me. I am now concerned about them in a very adult, grown-up way. And not about things like, are they going to be okay? Like, I want to know what their journeys are as people and what it means to them in their 60s or 50s to see what they've seen, reached where they've reached, and to know them again as people. And also, I mean, just especially with my dad now, he's branched out into politics and a completely different sphere of life. So I'm always supportive of him, and I'm also very concerned. So it's been amazing actually to see. You had some really great questions.
Oh, thank you. So sweet.
It's really been amazing to kind of learn to love my parents with my own growth on one side, but also really looking at them as individuals. Yeah.
How about the love for your partner?
Well, it's been amazing. We have predominantly a long distance relationship, which really has its benefits. I highly recommend it.
I did long distance for 3 years, so I'm still with that person. So actually,
it's
I
not
agree.
bad.
It's not bad, people. Everyone just says
if you're independent and you're committed,
it's the independency. You can grow by yourself.
You can go, and that's important, isn't it? Like, even if you were with your partner 24/7, 365 days a year, you don't want to become like a cling potato. You want to you want to have your own life and be really supportive to each other, and that's what I have. So I feel extremely, extremely blessed that I am with an artist who has his own dreams. I have my own dreams, and we're on different highways, and we meet at the gas station.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Or at the motel. That's really corny, but yeah.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Ultimately, I want my grandkids to say I was an amazing person. And to say, well, grandma had one good song, at least.
Amazing album.
Yeah, I think ultimately I want people to be able to see the person that I am, along with the artist that I've become over the years to come.
Yeah, I love that. This was so much fun.
Thank
You
you.
have such amazing deep answers to everything.
Do
I?
I? Was it too deep and intense? Someone from like school is gonna be like, she's been like this since she was 13. Annoying.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was amazing fun jaywalking through LA.
a lot.
It was amazing.
Oh.
Great.
Bye.